At dawn on June 25th, 1950, the silence over the Korean peninsula shattered. Tanks rolled across the 38th parallel. Gunfire echoed through the valleys. Families who had lived side by side for centuries suddenly found themselves on opposite sides of a war. But this war did not begin that morning. It began with a line drawn in pencil 5 years earlier by men who had never set foot in Korea. For over 3 decades before World War II, Korea lived under Japanese rule. The occupation was ruthless. Koreans were banned from speaking their own language in schools. Their names were changed, their land was taken, and their culture nearly erased. But when Japan surrendered in 1945, Korea expected to finally breathe as one independent nation again. Instead came confusion, chaos, and the shadow of 2 new superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union. In August 1945, 2 young American officers, Dean Rusk and Charles Bonesteel, were handed a map of Korea and told to divide it into 2 zones of control. They had barely 30 minutes. Tracing a ruler across the 38th parallel, they drew a line that would forever alter history. The Soviets would occupy the north, the Americans the south. Temporarily, they said, but nothing is more permanent than a temporary line in the middle of a power struggle. North of that line, the Soviets supported a young, ambitious communist named Kim Il-sung. South of it, the Americans backed a fiercely anti-communist leader, Syngman Rhee. Both men claimed to be the rightful ruler of all Korea. Both were determined to reunify the peninsula under their own vision, and both were willing to fight for it. By 1948, 2 rival governments had emerged: the Democratic People's Republic of Korea in the north and the Republic of Korea in the south. Each claimed to represent the Korean people, but in truth, they represented 2 competing visions of the world, one red, one blue, caught between Moscow and Washington. In June 1950, Kim Il-sung launched a surprise invasion of the South, believing he could reunify the nation in a matter of weeks. Instead, it ignited one of the bloodiest wars of the 20th century. Over 3 long years, millions died. Villages burned to ash, families torn apart. And when the guns finally fell silent in 1953, the border ended almost exactly where it began, along that same 38th parallel. No peace treaty was ever signed. Technically, the war never ended. And so to this day, the Korean peninsula remains divided. A communist north ruled by the same dynasty that began in 1948, and a democratic south that rose from the ruins to become one of the world's most advanced economies. A single pencil line, drawn in haste, carved a permanent scar through a nation's heart. 2 Koreas, one people, separated not by choice, but by history itself.